Well, hey everyone, and welcome to the next video in the Unity A-Star tutorial series. And last episode we got things working to where now we can choose our start node with left clicking, our end node with left clicking. They go right click and turn objects not walkable. This is what we want to do in case we want to be able to do this for the A-Star algorithm to change the way the unit's walking and moving. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead in here and we're just going to right click, create 3D object. It's just going to be a sphere. That's all we're going to do. There's nothing special about it. It's just a sphere. We're going to bring it into the prefabs. Okay. This is literally going to be what our object is. That's going to move on the grid. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and delete it out of the scene now. And we're going to do some work in our grid manager class. Grid behavior, excuse me. We'll come up here. We are going to go into grid behavior, and we're going to go and create right under the tile prefab. We're going to have a serialized field for the private game object for the movement prefab with the object that we're going to be moving, so we can just, it's the sphere. Okay. Then what we'll do now is we're going to need to be able to spawn it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come under here, under update, above setup grid, and we're going to do public void spawn. This will just go and spawn the object for us. So spawn, we're going to take a game object, and then we'll do spawn button. We're going to create a button on the UI that will allow it to be able to, whenever we click spawn, it's going to spawn the object for us. So we'll do this, do spawn, and we'll say tile behavior E. And we'll say if this dot start node is equal to null, or this dot goal node equal to null, return. So if you go click the button for spawning, it won't spawn anything if you haven't clicked a start and a goal node. So then we'll do if this dot tiles try get value. So go into the dictionary, try and get the value of this start node. Store it into T, grab its visual representation, grab its tile. And then we're going to instantiate the movement prefab at the transforms at the tiles position, and it's just going to have quaternion is just going to be identity. We don't have to worry about the rotation of it like that. And what we're going to do is actually we're going to come up here, make another reference really quick for game object, and we'll call it prefab instance. So basically this down here, when this gets instantiated, we want to hold a reference to it because we're going to do some stuff with it. So this prefab instance is set to that. Okay, and then we're going to take the spawn button we're going to set it to active, false. We're just going to turn the spawn button off. Okay. And we're going to do one more function. This one's going to be for a clear button we're going to make. We'll do public void clear. Game object. Spawn button. We're going to do this dot start. We're going to clear the board. So we're going to clear the grid. So this dot start node set to null. This dot goal node is now set to null. We can actually destroy the prefab instance because we want to hold reference to it. We want to destroy it though. Now we can for each tile behavior tile in the tiles for resetting. For each tile and tiles for reset, go ahead and take the tiles node and we're going to set its walkable to true because they're all true now. We'd set them all to false when we were left clicking. Well, we need to set them back to true, and then we need to go and get their components sprite renderer. And we need to do material color. We need to set it to color dot white. It's going to set it back to what its texture looks like. And then we'll come into here. We're going to do spawn button dot set active to true. So this is just going to go and spawn the prefab. So we need a spawn button and a clear button. And we're going to come up here and go back in here. Okay. So we'll come into here and we need to create we'll just create a button. It'll go ahead and create the canvas and everything for us. Control D on Windows, Command D on Mac. It's going to go and create a duplicate of it. That's all we need. Come down here. Just move it. That's all we're going to do. We're going to rename this one clear. We're going to set its text. Button. On. And inside of this button, the text is going to actually say on. And then the clear, the text is actually going to say clear. You have a spawn, you have a clear. We don't need those to be all the way in there so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the scene inspector. We'll switch this around to where it's actually X and Y accordingly. Press the mouse button in and click and drag. You can zoom out, try and find out where our spawn buttons are. They're in the middle of the screen. We don't want them in the middle of the screen, so what we're going to do, come here, Control Shift, and then hit this one right here. Oh, excuse me. It's Shift Alt, bottom right. And then click on clear and do Shift Alt, bottom right. Like this. And then this one we can just move up, like we'll say by 5. Oh, we'll do 10. Going to be more than that. We don't want the clear one to move. We want the spawn one to move. So we'll just do this. There you go. We got a spawn button and we got a clear button. You just move them however you see fit. They don't really do nothing right now, but like when the button gets clicked, on click, we're going to grab the grid manager, bring it into here, click on grid behavior and click on spawn. It takes a game object, grab the spawn button, drag it in there. Awesome. And go into the clear one, same thing. You're going to get the grid manager, go to grid behavior, go to spawn, clear, and then drag the clear button in. Bam. So that's what that's going to do. So now those are how the buttons are going to get activated. So now, when the spawn button gets activated, it's going to instantiate a prefab instance and set the spawn button to false. And this, so that's all this is going to do is just spawn for now. So go with this, and this, and then spawn. Okay, we got an exception. Oh, you know what? I didn't set it. That's my fault. That's good though, it means it's working. Take this. Click, click, spawn. And there's our sphere. So now all we gotta do is give the sphere the option, a path, so we can, and then tell it to start moving. So what we're gonna do now is if we hit clear, everything changes. Okay, we can clear the board. So that is awesome. Now on to the next step. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and create a script so the sphere can start moving. And the way we're going to do that is create a movement script. Or we can just go ahead, we'll just call it agent. It's an agent that moves. So we'll do that. So we'll call it agent. So we'll just call it agent. It's just an agent. Okay. And here we'll do that. We'll double click. Open it up. So what is this agent going to have? It is a mono behavior, and it's going to be attached to our sphere. So before I forget, let's go ahead and do this. Add component. Agent. Bam. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up our agent script. This is a mono behavior. And what we're going to do is we're going to set a private vector3. And then this will be the destination. This is going to be where it needs to move next. And then it's going to have a reference to a tile behavior that's going to be the current tile it's on. And then it'll have a reference to the previous tile it was on. And then we'll go ahead and in the start function, what we're going to do is one last thing. We're going to give this a stack. Private stack of tile behavior. And we're going to say path. This is going to be the path that's going to follow. So what is a stack? A stack is it's just like a list, it's just like a queue, except the stack, whenever you put something on top of it, it's going to pop off the last object that you put on there. So it's basically like if you have a stack of pancakes. If you take one pancake, put another one on top, and then another one on top of that, when you start taking pancakes off, you don't go from the bottom of the stack. That's not how a stack works. It's going to reach from the top one. So it's going to pop off the most recent one that was added. So we'll go into start and say, hey, when this is started, we're going to say this path. Go ahead and set it to a new stack. Alright. And what we're going to do is, now we're going to run the algorithm, say list node, and then we're going to say final path, set to a star dot run a star, and we're going to give it a start and a goal. Remember, we did the grid manager, grid behavior, as it really should be grid manager, not behavior, but instance dot start node. Then we need grid behavior dot instance dot goal node. No. The goal node. And it's going to start, and it's going to generate a path, and it's going to kick back that path for us right here. So it's going to run the algorithm whenever it hits start. It's going to come into here and say this destination is set to this dot transform dot position. So set its destination to where it's spawned at. Okay, that's what that's doing. Now, if final path dot count is equal to 0, then don't do anything, because you don't have a valid path to move, so don't move. Okay? Now, I'm going to get a reference to tile behavior. Or tile. I'm moving stuff over so you can see it. I'm going to say for each. Not for each, for each. For each node. In the final path. We're going to loop through the path. So for each node in the final path, if grid behavior dot instance dot tiles try get value node out tile. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the grid behavior into the tiles and grab all the visual tiles and say, hey, if you can grab a visual tile stored in this variable, and then take that variable and add it, or in this case, push it into this object's path that it's going to have. So go through that final path and then add it. And then we're going to come in here underneath it, and we're going to do this dot destination. It's going to be set to this dot transform dot position. This dot transform dot position. Okay, we already did that. Okay, now if this dot path dot count greater than 0, we have a path. This dot current tile is going to be set to this dot path dot pop. What that's going to do is it's going to pop the first tile out of the stack. So the one you just added is going to be popped off. This needs to be lowercase. And then now the destination is going to be set to this dot current tile dot transform dot position. So if the count's greater than 0, pop the first one off and then give it the destination to that one's transform. So basically this is saying, hey, instantiate a new path, grab a path from the A star, set the destination of this object to this object's transform. If the final path is 0, return. You couldn't find one. Other than that, get a tile, loop through the tiles that are in the list in the grid behavior, in the dictionary, excuse me. Push them onto the stack, and then if the count's greater than 0, pop the first one off. That's going to be the destination of the current one. So now we're going to go into update, and then this is where all the moving and stuff is going to take place. So it's going to constantly check to see, hey, if this dot transform dot position is not equal to this dot destination, we're going to move to it. So if it's not at the destination, we're going to move. So this dot transform dot position is set to vector 3 move towards. And you're going to move towards this dot transform. You're going to move this dot transform dot position to this dot destination, to the target position, at a rate of 2 times time dot delta time, which is saying, hey, at the rate of a speed of 2, I want you to move from one tile to the next one, and then we'll end it there. This one's going to be a transform. So it's going to move, keep moving towards. Well, now wait a minute. What happens when it reaches its destination? That's what this code's going to be here. So if it's not equal to the destination, move towards it. Else, it is at its destination. So what you're going to do is you're going to check to make sure your path dot count is greater than 0, so you can still keep moving. Okay. You're going to do tile behavior again. Tile behavior. Tile is set to this dot path dot pop. Grab the next one off. That's your tile. If tile dot node is walkable, so grab the next one. So the pop is going to grab the next tile and say, okay, cool, I got the next tile. We're at the destination. Check the path. Is there still room in the path? Yes, it's greater than 0. Okay, pop the next one off. Can I walk to that node? Yes, you can. Then you're going to do this dot previous tile is going to be set to this dot current tile. And then you're going to say this current tile now equal to the tile we're walking to next. And this dot destination is set to this dot current tile dot transform dot position. What is happening? Well, while our position is not at our destination, move to it. If we hit the destination, check to see if we have any path left. If we do, pop the stack, give me the tile. Can I walk to it? Yes. Your previous tile is now where you're currently at, where you stopped at. Your current tile will now be the next tile you're moving to. Now your destination is going to be that tile's transform. And that should be this. So we'll come into here. It won't spawn because we don't have a goal node. See? So we got a start node, still can't do it. Got an end node. Spawn. It should go directly to the node because that is the shortest path. Bam. We'll clear it. We'll go here. Oop. Forgot something. I forgot inside of the clear function in grid behavior to spawn button set to active. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Nope, I did that correctly. I did this wrong. Clear. It's not going to be the clear button. Spawn button. There we go. Cool. So everything should populate now. Now we should be able to get our grid to show. Go ahead and click here for our green, click here for our red, hit spawn. It's going to find the shortest distance and it's going to move to it. We clear it, it gets rid of everything. Come here, going to do it again. Well, there you go. So it is working. However, there is something I want to point out here. We didn't put anything in its path. So if we go here to here, I want to make these. I want to make this. It's going to find the shortest distance between the two. See? It went completely around. If you clear it and you do this and you block it, nothing should happen. This is not reachable. It won't move because it doesn't have a valid path. But if you do this, this, and it'll reach it. Oh, well, I forgot because I blocked this one. But we have the diagonal movement in there. So that'll only do that. So, but what it doesn't do is at runtime, spawn, right click, right click, right click, right click. It went right through it. See, object set to not a reference. That's why I was giving an exception error. We didn't calculate. It works now if you want to have the functionality to where you do the path one time and you just say, hey, I want you to find a path from here to there, and all of this is just junk. You got to follow around. If this is all you want to do, go for it. It works. But what if you want to change this at runtime? What if you want, when this thing is moving, to right-click somewhere and stop it from actually moving? See? It shouldn't have moved. It should have recalculated. That's what we're going to do in the next episode. I'm going to show you how we can take that and recalculate the path in the next episode. But I hope you're enjoying it so far. One episode left to go. Thank y'all for sticking with me this far. I appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed one. Bye.